the B string up to C. Crazy reverb on here, or the crazy chorus. It's the second chorus. Anyways, you get the idea. It's a real simple pickup, Matrix Infinity pickup, kind of the front line go-to acoustic under the saddle pickup Fishman's had for years. We've done little tweaks over the years, but it's, you could throw it in anything. I was looking at all these glorious Martins back there, and I was like, I'd pop one in here and just kind of let the good times roll. There's a particular authentic OM28 back there that sounds so good. And I've been starting to do Martin clinics, so I've got Martin fever bad. And so every time I go into a store, I'm always checking them all out, and they got some stunning morsels back there. A little FYI, okay? This is actually just a cutaway. What is this? D28 cutaway. DC28E, you know what that means? The C is for cutaway, the E for electric. See how they did that? all good. And again, I'm just going through that Aura Spectrum preamp into this glorious Loudbox Performer. And this is a short run thing as well. It's with that, what do we call this, with the wood?
African mahogany.
African mahogany on there with a special run. There's also a brand new Loudbox Mini Charge. I'll just plug into that thing for a hot minute. This is actually a brand new thing. It's just coming out. And it allows you to charge up the battery and just run for the hills. How long do you get with this thing?
12 hours at mid-volume and about 6 hours at full volume. So.
Imagine the spirited busking you could do with this particular device. Ventura tomorrow on the beach. Like Ronnie Hour all doggone day. Sounds good. That's what I'm getting for Christmas. That's a rascal right there. That is way cool. And are these shipping now, Ron, or are they?
They are shipping, and they're in limited supply, but Instrumental has some coming. So I definitely take your special order.
Santa. Anyways, you get the idea. Very cool little device. So that has just a little rotary switch over here that allows you to get a mild chorus or more of a heavy chorus, and you got reverb. And it does have like a second channel here to plug in your microphone, so if you want to sing, as well as play out on the beach, you can do so for a period of time. If the battery charge will allow you to do so. Can you do
Bluetooth too.
Bluetooth as well, that's right. So you can put if you're playing the tracks, please don't do that. But if you do, you can play the tracks as well, do a little guitarioke on the beach. Not that I'm judging. That sounds like judgment. I don't want to apologize right now. All right. So that's the acoustic stuff. There are different pickups. There are sound hole pickups at Fishman. They basically have it covered every which way from Tuesday. There's an enhanced system, which is actually one of my favorite things you can get on certain Martin guitars, and it's also available aftermarket. You can get it.
It's not.
It's not
available through Martin.
Through Martin. It's called a VT Enhanced, so it has the Matrix Infinity pickup. So you got the volume, the tone, and you have this enhanced feature, which is a volume that's underneath here, which actually brings in the sound of the acoustic top, which again just adds more sound. And if you're one of the guys that like to beat his guitar, like, there's some kind of percussive activity, that really translates as well. But I like it even if you're not doing that. You just add a little bit and it adds even more air yet. So between that, a little bit of the Aura technology and the enhance on top of it, man, it really gets real. The search for authenticity. Is that a word? Authenticity? Hey, the good times roll. Okay, let's talk a little bit about these Fluence pickups. I have my own signature set, which apparently is doing quite well, which is great, because I got 4 kids, and let me tell you, they're expensive. Even as I get older, they're just continue to be expensive. They're more expensive. So, you know what I guess I'm going to do? I'll start off with the Strat pickups, because that's what we first worked on. These have been available now for about 4 years. And of course, what is the purpose of getting involved with pickups when you're Larry Fishman and you've pretty much got the acoustic world nailed? He never really got involved with electric guitar pickups because pretty much everything had been done that he thought of, and it's like, why am I going to get involved in something if I can't be innovative and do something that no one else has done? And so he came across an individual who had this technology which allowed him to go into the electric guitar field and truly do something unusual. How I got involved was that Larry, being more of an acoustic instrument potentate, if you will, reached out to a mutual friend of ours named Richie Fliegler, who had worked for Marshall for years and worked for Fender for a long period of time, was very influential in Fender's ascent back into the dominance that he currently enjoys. And And he reached out to me saying, hey, Larry Fishman's got this new technology for doing electric guitar pickups. We really want you to hear it because we think you'll get it and that you could be someone that could champion it for us and so on and so forth. I'm like, Rich, I gotta be honest with you, I don't care. It's basically because I didn't at the time. It's like, I've got, there's only so many days in a month, and I'm not one of these guys that is constantly taking out of his pickups looking for the next new thing. It's like, I get pickups on a guitar and I like them, we're done. You know what I mean? And the only quandary is, which he got me with was, well, these are, he couldn't get everything right off the bat, but he was enticed me like, you gotta hear these pickups because you're totally gonna get it, and I can't tell you anything until you sign a non-disclosure agreement. So, let's just put it this way. What ended up happening was that it became the pickup that I'd been trying to get Fender to make me back in the day, which they never did, because my name wasn't John Mayer or something. So, not that I'm judging anybody. But what happened was that back in the day, in Fenderland, when Dan Smith was still there, Dan had a soul, and he was a cool cat, and he worked with a bunch of different people making signature models, and he worked in research and development, and so on and so forth. And he talked to me, he said, well, what would you want in a pickup? And I said, well, the whole idea of the noiseless pickup sounding like a single coil had never really been done to my liking. I'd make the stuff work, you know what I mean? The various different iterations of the Fender noiseless pickups, I used them, and they worked for me. But every time I would play a regular single coil pickup, I'd go, doggone it. That sounds good, that sounds better. But, if I'm traveling to Europe and I have to play in a number of different places with wiring from God knows what century, you can't escape the 60 cycle hum and all kinds of different other unpleasantness. Microphoning, the whole 9 yards. So I would always bring the guitar with the noiseless pickups, but it was never truly to my satisfaction. It was more like a tool that I would use, and then when I would go in the studio, I would use the single coils of my choice. Because for those of you who don't know, I mean, if you play a single coil guitar, Stratocaster, Telecaster, anything with P90s, they sound great. They have a nice, transparent, glorious tone. They're brighter than humbuckers and so on and so forth. But if you add, a turn of an amp, get some distortion on it, and if you're in an environment where you've got neon lights or the wiring's just weird, there's radio towers nearby, whatever the case may be, you sometimes can't escape the noise, and it's maddening. So you always have that one guitar with the pickups in it that are quiet. But again, it's a compromise because it doesn't sound as good as it possibly could. So anyways, back in the Fender days, I was like, look, I want a guitar that sounds exactly like a single coil, looks exactly like a single coil, but is noise canceling. Because that's the thing, a lot of times you'll have a pickup that is noise free, but it'll have like dual blades on it, or it doesn't look quite right. And when you're playing a Strat or a Tele, you want it to look right. I'm sorry, it's just, call me vain, but I just want it to look like my guitars of old, but I just wanted to be quiet. The other thing I wanted was just some kind of an ability to have some incremental boost in gain. If you've ever played an Eric Clapton signature Stratocaster, on his second tone control, you'll see him when he goes down for leads, he'll turn it all the way up, and there's actually like a 24 dB boost preamp on board the guitar that then overdrives the amp. I didn't want anything that extreme. I don't necessarily like that much gain on what the Clapton guitar does. I just want a skosh, if you will. If I'm on the bridge pickup and I want a little bit more meat, I just want a little bit more dB and maybe a little bit more mids or low end. I just want to be able to like hit a push-pull pot or something like that and get it. So it turns out that these Fishman pickups are exactly that. So it was very fortuitous that I got involved with Richie and then with Larry and of course the whole Fluence team to develop these pickups, because it was exactly what I was looking for. And really what made me, I like playing Teles so much more than Strats, because Tele pickups when you have two pickups, you have three positions, they all sound good, you're done. You know what I mean? It's like a blank canvas, it sounds glorious. With Strats, you got a 5-way toggle switch, and depending on what Strat you're playing, it's a nightmare, because you might get, of this 5-way toggle switch, you might get, hey, the 2 and 4 are really sparkly, but the individual pickups sound wimpy. In order to get my 2 to sound really good, the bridge pickup sounds wimpy. There's always compromises with Strat pickups. So with the Fluence pickups, all 5 positions of the toggle switch sound fantastic. They're all the same volume, and they're all noise canceling. On a regular Strat, you've got the 2 and 4 that you can escape the buzz from, but you don't want to stay there all night, although some people do. But with these pickups, you can use all 5 positions. They all sound like the epitome of what that position should sound like. And then on the second tone control, I pop it up, I get a second voice that adds a little bit more meat, a little bit more volume. So it's exactly what I wanted. They did say, oh, there's going to be a battery on board. I'm like, I don't play guitar with batteries. I'm sorry. That's a non-starter. And they're like, we've got it sussed in a way that you don't have to carve your guitar up. And then they started telling me about, well, you can get this, we got this lithium ion battery option where it sits on the back plate of your guitar. You don't have to carve up your guitar, and you actually put your phone charger into this thing and you charge it up for an hour and a half and you get 300 hours of plugged in playing time. Like 300 hours. That's a long time. I mean, even the most pestilential casino gig does not last longer than, whatever the case may be. So that kind of took it out of there for me. That's not an issue. But let's just hear how the pickups sound, because, if they don't sound good, the point of music. Glassy deliciousness. But if I go to the 4 position, on Strats is unusable because it just is too squawky sounding. This sounds good. All right, and then I go to the 2 position, which is kind of that classic Mark Knopfler. Good, right? And then you go to that bridge pickup. Sounds super good. Now, all those different positions sound fantastic, but if I pull up my tone control, you'll hear I get a little bit more. Down again. So it's a second voice. So first voice is more like a 54 Strat sound. That's what we were going for. 54 custom shop Strat pickup. When I pop it up, it's more like a custom shop, something that's a little hotter. Like a, like a Texas Special. Let's hear what it sounds like with a little heat. I want to put a fuzz, I've just borrowed a fuzz face from the store here. This is one of those Eric Johnson fuzz faces. You know what? I'm going to do it old school as I usually do in these clinics, and I'm just going to plug into the amp and turn it up. There we go. One of the great things about these pickups, sorry, don't worry about it. One of the great things about these pickups is any point on the volume control, you don't lose any high. So if I turn the volume down, it doesn't mess with the EQ, it just gets less loud.